Beautiful people, what's going on? Brandon J. Wigley here, the host of Split Your Wig podcast, where we crack open the minds of influential people, hopefully to inspire you and help you find your purpose. Myself, I'm a business owner, a real estate investor, and most importantly to me, I'm vice president of J. Morrison Academy. So today, I have a very special guest. I didn't want to take the DJ Envy intro. He always say everybody's special, but I have a person near and dear to my heart, somebody that really changed my life and helped elevate me. The King went on a 25-city tour last year, 2 bestsellers where he launched the same day. And I remember when he wrote them, he put his phone on airplane mode and told nobody to reach out to him. The King, the most important thing you did last year, you got engaged. That inspired me. We got the King J. Morrison here. I appreciate you, King, for that first
What's
energy.
going on? Brandon J. Wigley.
So for the people that don't know you, could you just give a quick elevator pitch of yourself and kind of, introduce yourself to the world?
Sure. World. Happy to be here on Split Your Wig. And if you don't know, I'm a businessman, real estate developer, activist, author, and much, much more. My name is Jay Morrison, formerly known as Mr. Real Estate. I'm a 14-year entrepreneur and real estate investing veteran, financial empowerment advocate and coach. As Brandon said, 3-time author, 2-time best-selling author, and most notably, I've gained a lot of, influence influence for my life story, my life journey, coming from a below the poverty line, welfare kid, high school dropout, 3-time felon who served 2.5 years in prison, but at 25 years old, made a change off the corner of 10th and Springfield in Newark, New Jersey, into the corporate world, and have had some success over the last decade. So people are excited about my journey, my story, and how I give back to our community.
All right, dope. I appreciate that. And that's how I found you. I found you on YouTube telling your story, and your story is definitely compelling and motivational. So that's why I know a lot of people gravitate to you. So
I failed to mention, sorry. I failed to mention, I'm the CEO and founder of the Tulsa Real Estate Fund and CEO and founder of the J. Morrison Academy. The Tulsa Real Estate Fund is a fund that lends private capital to urban developers, and it allows the crowd to participate in those investments and owning assets. And the J. Morrison Academy is a financial empowerment institution, which you know a lot about.
Oh, yeah. Talk that talk. Let them know your whole background. You gotta let them know. We not humble today. We
got a few things.
All right, cool. So before we even get into it, I have a bottle of wine here on the table for everybody. Recently, I've become a kind of a Merlot connoisseur, you want to say.
Okay.
For like the past 2 months, that's the only wine I drink is Merlot. Right. So a part of the show, my guest, if you don't want to drink it, you don't have to. I know it's still kind of early. All right. I've been tasting a lot of different type of Merlots. Okay. So I want my guest to experience what I'm been drinking as well. So I have a bottle of Bonterra Merlot. I don't know where it was made. Probably made in California, and it's made with organic grapes. All right, organic. One more time I'm gonna say it. So I'm gonna pour us a little glass before we get right into it. I ain't gonna pour too much for you, King.
Just a little taste. I'm on a water diet right now.
Oh, you on the water? Okay, we're gonna give you a shot. That's it. That's
So I'll take a little taste for the.
All right, before we get started, we're gonna slide into the icebreaker segment of the show, where I just ask you one question, and I've always wanted to know this about you. I feel like I know you, but I don't know a lot of personal things about you. That's why we split your wig. We're gonna split today with the icebreaker segment, all right?
Let's do it.
Cool. So, what's your favorite movie of all time and why?
Coming to America.
Why?
Coming to America showed, one, it was funny as hell, but it was aspirational for me. Like watching Coming to America as a kid in Somerville, New Jersey, and we're in, bedrooms with like 6 of us in one bedroom. Yeah. And then I'm seeing Prince Hakeem come. He got the big tub the size of our whole house with the Queen's washroom. Said, your royal is clean, your highness. But just seeing like that affluent lifestyle, I was like, that's dope. The throwing rose petals while he walked. Yeah. Like I was like, I want to live like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was just really as comedic as it was. Real cool movie. But honestly, it was aspirational. Like when they had the big gold and the furs on and all of that, and I was just like, man, I want to be a king. I want to be a prince. Like what if that were me one day? So I looked at it as real life. So yeah, I love that movie.
Dope. I thought you were gonna say like New Jack City or something. To be honest, yeah, you like a real sophisticated gangster, I would say.
Yeah,
well, not really a gangster.
Reformed. Right.
Yeah, reformed. I thought you were gonna say New Jack City. That's dope. So to piggyback off of that, you think Eddie Murphy the greatest comedian of all time?
I couldn't say that.
I do. Let me tell you why.
All right, tell me.
Eddie can do Coming to America.
Right.
He can get swagged out on Boomerang.
Yep.
He can do kids movies like
does.
Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah.
He has two of the greatest stand-ups ever, Raw and something else. He got two of the, I don't know if you saw him, but it's two of the greatest stand-ups.
Yep.
And then he can just do, he's versatile. He can do everything. So to me, he killing Richard Pryor, rest in peace, Martin, everybody, because of that versatility.
Eddie's definitely in the top 3 for sure.
No, he number 1. You know,
I'd have to really ponder on it because you know what I mean. Like you said, Martin Lawrence. That I don't know. Chris Rock. I mean, these are some super funny.
I dig it.
But no, Eddie's definitely a legend. Oh, now you know what? I might got it. I think for actor and comedian. For actor comedian, he may be number 1.
Okay.
I mean, for what he did with the Beverly Hills Cop series.
I forgot about that.
He got some classics. Eddie got some
That's
classics.
what I'm saying. All right, cool. So, all right, we're going to roll into current events now. It's a lot going on in the world. It's March 1st now. We just got through with Black History Month, but it's Black History Month every day with us.
All
being
day,
around
every day.
you. I know you motivate me to, get deeper into, Black history and just learning about our culture. So I appreciate that. So last month was Black Panther movie. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did. Seen it twice.
All right, so what were your thoughts on it and how impactful do you think it was on the community right now?
So, that's a great question. So I had I had one of my deep, super social conscious opinions on Black Panther.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
So my first deep opinion was, all right, all the fuss, all the hype, we all getting dressed up for Black Panther and all of that, but at the end of the day, it's owned by a non-Black owned company, right? And so I felt like all the hype was good. So I always think about, as I wrote my book, The Solution, I always think about what would Malcolm say and what would Malcolm do, right? So I use Malcolm as kind of like my barometer for authentic.
And I use you as mine.
Right.
Keep going.
Authentic blackness. And I was like, it is great for us to celebrate our culture. So I did find a lot of points in that, which I'll talk about in a second. But I did feel like at the end of the day, they threw us a token, a movie. Like it's something still that they did for us. It's still not us controlling our own narrative, us controlling our own film, us being in ownership, and us benefiting from pouring our dollars in. Now, Ryan Coogler, the writer, I think is writer-director, and some of the actors, of course, did benefit. So we take our wins, but from a macro level of ownership, we don't own the rights or own the story or benefited from that $300 million plus that movie did. So that was kind of my first thought. But after being there and seeing, we sponsored, Jim Morrison Academy sponsored, in part with other organizations, about 700 kids or so to go see the movie. And seeing the response of children and families and just the upliftment part of it, I was like, you know what? Okay, we didn't get the big win where we own it all, but it made being Black, being African, what I call it, African in America, everybody put the dashikis on, and there was cultural pride brought out of the movies. I'm like, shoot, if it takes a Marvel comic film for us to really embrace our culture as a whole, where we're really proud of it and Instagramming and blogging it, not just a conscious crowd, but everyone, I was like, that's a win. So I did feel good about what it said about us as Africans in America and our superpowers and what Wakanda looks like for us. So it started making everybody think about what our own community and our own power looks like. So I was happy with that.
So do you wholeheartedly believe we can sponsor, produce, have our own Black film one day where it's owned by Black people, acting by Black people, everything like that? Do you believe?
Yeah, I mean, we do to some levels. I mean, Tyler Perry has his studios. I think Black Panther was even shot there.
Yeah, it was shot in Atlanta.
Tyler Perry studio, I believe. And there's others that do own parts of it, but I just don't think that we running it though. You know what I mean? Like, we'll get our little wins. We'll put some actors, some leads, some directors, you know. And shout out to my queen, Ernestine Johnson, who's a actor and director.
Queen EJ.
Yeah, you
shout
already
out
know.
to the queen.
Ken Eugene as well. We got a lot of people in our crew who are in the film industry, but for me, it's like how Nigeria has Nollywood. Like they actually have their own Hollywood that they actually own, their own awards, their own everything through and through. And so that I believe we can do it. It's going to take a lot of collective effort. If Tyler Perry's can partner with the Will Smiths and the Oprahs and the Ryan Cooglers and the whoever else, the shakers and movers in the industry, if we can collectively come together as other communities have done to run Hollywood, we could have our own. But the problem is once we get our own kind of niches, our own companies, our own thing going, we try to box everybody out because we want to be the man or the one man. So it would take some intentional organizing, but hopefully we can be that sophisticated one day.
All right, well, that's a good segue into our next segment, and do you believe, right?
Okay.
So this segment, I want to kind of split your wig a little even more and kind of get into your thoughts about what your true philosophy is and what you believe in. So the first question I have is, do you believe an entrepreneur is born or they can be taught to be a true entrepreneur?
Both.
Okay.
I believe some people come out the womb and are natural born hustlers, leaders, go-getters. I think that sometimes entrepreneurship is adopted by your lifestyle, your upbringing, how your family moves, especially for those when you come from struggle, you have a tendency to be more resilient and have to figure things out coming from a single parent home or coming from financial struggles or whatever. So you have a tendency sometimes to have that extra drive kick in. And then even for those who aren't born that way or aren't created that way through their upbringing, I think you could literally be coached and be taught and be mentored on entrepreneurship. You can get through the fear and get through the doubt and learn the skills necessary to be an entrepreneur. Yes, it can be taught. Yeah,
I believe that as well. For myself, I don't think I was born with the entrepreneur bug. I've always loved sports. Like I'm sports. Being from the South, sports is just, you just grow up with it.
Right.
You pick a side in Florida. You like Florida State, Miami, or University of Florida. And for myself, I started off young. I used to sell like cookies on the stoop in our apartment complex, but then I just got all into sports. But around 23, 24 is when the entrepreneur bug hit me. I'm 32 now, so I quit my job at 25. I haven't worked a real job, 9 to 5 since then. And ever since then, I've just been learning, even from yourself. And I'm just an information junkie.
Yep.
But not only that, I try to apply what I learn as well. It's a lot of people learn a lot of stuff and just keep it. So I definitely believe you can learn how to be an entrepreneur. And I don't think you personally tell that story of you enough.
Right.
Like you tell, the drug experience and the real estate side. So I want to get into it. You said you own probably over 25 businesses before.
Yep.
Tell us about, just kind of give us a story about all the businesses and what drove you to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I didn't realize it when I first got into the real estate industry as a loan officer, as a realtor, and as a developer, that I was really becoming a businessman.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we just think house flipper, wholesaler, real estate, you're just an investor. But as I started having more success, and what happens is as you make more money, we talk about all the time, the more money you make, you start to have this problem. And the problem is, where can I park all this money so it can make more money for me, right? So now if you say, I want to make $250,000, I want to make $500,000. All right, now you make $500,000.
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
That $500 has to produce, or it's just sitting there and it's not doing you, as much good as it could, right? The opportunity cost of the money. And so through that, I started taking shots at different businesses, restaurants, owning liquor licenses, nightclubs, entertainment companies, staffing agencies, clothing lines, record labels. You know what I mean? Like I was trying, because it's just that I wanted my money to work for me. You know what I mean? Like it was like the worst feeling in the world. It was a good problem to have to have liquid capital, to be fluid, have great cash flow, all those things. But then it's sitting there getting you 0.01% interest or whatever. And so that kind of kicked it in. And I've always been a hustler. I've always been trying to figure out how to hit the next and next levels. I think that there's so many layers of business and entrepreneurship that just aren't talked about on a plain and relatable level. Okay. So that's why at the J. Morrison Academy, we focus on making financial empowerment, which includes entrepreneurship, more accessible, more affordable, and more relatable.
For sure.
Because there's just not anyone that's really passing down tips for us on how to build long-term family wealth, how to build legacy, how to mitigate taxes, how to build proper corporate veils and corporate structures. And it's just like so many hiring, firing, operational manual, systemizing your business, marketing your business. A lot of times we just know go get it. Get a product, sell a product. Get a product, sell a product. Take your money, flip the money, right? You know
well,
what I mean?
It was me. I'm learning.
So I really got excited and get excited about business as I learned how to actually create an enterprise, create an organization, create something that's sophisticated, create something that really is larger than myself and bigger than what I thought I could accomplish being a former high school dropout with no college education. I never thought I could have an enterprise with over 40 staff and vendors working within our organization and have it structured and systemized and good bookkeeping and accounting. And there's just ups and downs and hurdles from it. And that's what you learn too in business is that we see, like Uber had a crisis last year, right? But you see a business like Uber, you think they got it made, man. Like they're making all this money. Everybody's Uber. This Uber's now like a verb. You know what I mean? Like that, it's actually a word in culture now. Yeah. But even as a company, they had a major crisis last year. So you learn that in business that even some of the most popular or best businesses still go through drama, adversity, and hurdles. And that's what makes you tougher as an entrepreneur. And so I embrace that. Like I understand, like I'm not going to get it all right. I'm not going to get it perfect. We're running a $50 million real estate fund. We're running a school that's had over 8,000 students. We're running different real estate developments, author, speaking engagements, and then having family, fiance, and all that. But that's the life of an entrepreneur. Man, that's what makes it so exciting.
That's dope. So what was your, of course JMA is your favorite business right now. But besides JMA, what was your favorite business that you got started that may have not even been successful, but it was really passionate to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this first. JMA is my favorite business because I love teaching. And so JMA, and I love giving back. I love mentoring. I love empowering. Like people mentoring me is how I got to where I got. People are like, come on, man, you don't need to do that. Whether it be in prison, on the streets, or in the mortgage office, or in a real estate office. Like, so I love doing that, and I love watching you grow, watching others grow from empowerment. Second to that, which is totally contradictory to that, I think one of my favorite business experiences, because it allowed me to be, which is bad, I guess, but I'm gonna just keep it real.
No, it's your real. It's
split your wig. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite businesses was when I had a record label, right? Royalty Family Music Group. And
did you come up with the name?
Did I? No, actually, a friend of mine had the name. He was a rapper. I found the R&B artist that was super dope, Brian Gibbs. And I basically want to put my friend on, like, look, you've been trying to do this rap thing. I got an R&B kid. Look, I'll come in as a partner on your label. Or, it wasn't even like a really existing label. He just had the name and the paperwork. So I'm like, all right, cool, let's blow this up. But I want to push the R&B kid first. I don't want to do that rap stuff. Right? But anyway, why I enjoyed it at the time, and there was some headaches to it, but this is why our culture draws the music entertainment so much. Because it allowed you to be, at that time, it allowed me to take off the corporate side. And when you're in the entertainment and music business, it allows you to be your young boy self. Right? And so
how old were you?
I was like 28, 29.
Okay.
Right? So being in music, at that time, it allowed you didn't have to talk professionally, you didn't have to dress professionally, right? You could have late nights, wake up when you wanted to. So it provided an environment, honestly, which is really counterproductive because in a way it made me less sophisticated, less disciplined, and all that. But the immature side of me enjoyed it because it was all about parties, it was about clubs, it was about networking with DJs. It was about having women around. It was about smoking, drinking, and all other kind of cool things.
Not much structure to it.
It was no structure. Right. It was kind of like the streets. It was like that's what it was like. You got 20 guys and 20 girls in the studio. They smoking, they drinking. We making music, coming out with good product. And so it reminded me at that time of what the block was like when I was out on the street corner. It was like it was structure, but it was no structure. And so
you don't have to worry about the police.
Right. So that was like it was like a kind of like it was a fun business. I would say it was fun. Didn't make me much money, but it was fun, and I got out of it and got back to the money.
So what was the downfall of that business? What made you get out of it?
Well, what I found in the music industry is that it's super niche, it's super tight. And although we had a great artist, great talent, we had our own studio and all that, people want to kind of, if you're not already in the in circle of the music crowd, they want to haze you or make you. They want to make you pay dues.
You ain't with that,
right?
Yeah.
I'm not with that. I'm not with the. You gonna make me pay dues, and I gotta kiss butt here, and
so you. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. You never would have joined a fraternity if you went to college, huh?
Probably not. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I got really close to joining a gang when I was in jail. I literally got an offer, like just like a college offers you or whatever. I literally got an offer from the Sex Money Murder Bloods. Yeah. I got an offer while in prison to join because they seen that I was thorough and I was getting money, and they were like, you could be a good provider, and and so they offered me to join. And they were even gonna forego me being jumped in. They were like, look, you don't even gotta get jumped in. All you gotta do is fast for 3 days or write a 3,000-page essay or something like that. Like they were like giving me all these alternative ways.
Sophisticated with the gang.
But so I was debating joining the gang because I was just bored in jail. And then I was talking to my cellmate, and I was like, he was like, you sure you want to do that? He was like, if you're going to be a gang leader, you might start your own gang. And I was like, yeah. I was like, why would I? Yeah. So I was like, wait, if I join a gang, that means I got to listen to what he tell me to do, him? And he was like, yeah, it's a big homie. I'm like, nah, I ain't with all of that. I like being independent, and if I'm a be a part of something, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be somewhere in the leadership capacity.
I definitely dig that. So I'm glad you said that you want to be a leader in the situation. So our next segment is going to be a question for the kings out there.
Okay.
So being that you're a leader, you're a strong, very strong leader. You lead me, you lead others.
Thank you.
And a lot of people look up to you. And like I said in the beginning, you just got engaged this year. So I want to ask a question. This is a personal question for me too.
All right, let's do it.
This is for the men.
Split your way.
When do you know you're ready to settle down? And be real with me. Just split your wig. Like, when do you know? When do you know?
When do you know?
For the kings out here.
All right, for the kings. I think it's about, for me, it was about weighing, it was like, how can I put it?
Yeah, get your thoughts now. Get your thoughts together.
It's difficult now.
We got the
queen.
queen
I want y'all to tune in. Listen in now. Focus.
Now,
I think it's really about when you're set on, when you're ready to build, right? And so when I say build, I mean like any of us can have children with any woman just by sexual intercourse, but by doing that, you're not necessarily setting up a structure, a family structure, or really being intentional about your legacy. So you could have sex with somebody and have a baby or whatever. You could like them, love them, or it could be just lust because they just look good and you just ain't pull out fast enough. Whatever might have happened. But that's not being intentional about your legacy. So I think like settling down for me is like, and for the kings is like when you know that you're ready to, in mind, every relationship is different. It's whatever you and your significant other agree on in your relationship. So it may be a portion of settling down and being monogamous. It may be some other stuff, depending what y'all into. But I think it just boils down when you know within yourself that you want to do something more substantial than just have fun. Right? Because dating and being a bachelor is
it's dope.
It's fun.
It's super fun.
You have your freedom, right? You have minimal responsibility and no one to answer to in that capacity. But when you've made up your mind that, and it's really just a growth and maturity thing, that over that quote unquote fun, and relationships have it's fun too. Not saying relationships are not fun, but there's a certain liberty of being a bachelor. And so, but when you decide that what you can build in that relationship is greater than the fun you can have. Like that's for me is when I think it's time for you to settle down. When you look at building something substantial with someone, creating a family, creating a legacy, when you find that perfect partner or someone you feel like a vibe with to have your back. That's one of the other things about being a bachelor is that God forbid something happened to you, you get sick, you go to jail, something crazy happens, you go broke, whatever happens, then who got your back?
Who got your back,
And so when you really when you're really thinking about your long-term vision and who has your back and who's gonna have your kids back and all that, that's when I think, for me, I knew I was ready. I knew that I didn't want to risk anymore what came with being a bachelor, especially with me being a leader in our community and knowing the history of what happens to leaders in our community. I didn't want to be in a position where something could happen to me, whether it be just out and about related or intentional government related or anything, and then I don't have anyone to hold me
hold it
down
down.
in those situations.
Yeah.
So it really behooved me to be more intentional about, trying to find legacy instead of trying to find lust.
I like that. So everything you just said were kind of mental aspects of it, right? Mm-hmm. Was it any physical aspects of, like, do you get butterflies? I ain't trying to put you on the spot, but because I don't believe in that. I don't believe in the butterfly feeling. Maybe because I never felt it. But do you think that's necessary to have?
Well, I think you should be inspired by whatever woman you're going to be with, and it could be with whatever capacity. It could be like, if it's a stay-at-home woman, or she's a working woman, or she's a powerful woman, whatever that is that might fit you and your life's puzzle, it should inspire you. Like, yo, that's what I need right there. Bigger than looks, a big butt, or some kind of sexual fulfillment. Right? That's really what it comes down to. Is like, where past those physical and sexual things does a woman inspire you? And so for me, when I saw my current fiance and saw my woman perform, and not just perform as an artist and poet, but perform and speak life into our community and into our men, and saw her passion and love for our people, that inspired me. And so having, I think it's important that you find a woman that can inspire you, whether it be entrepreneurially, socially, emotionally, spiritually, like whatever that component might be missing in your life. If that woman can inspire you past looks and lust, then I think that's where you can start considering, like, that could be a potential mate for me. Okay.
Well, I'm still looking, Queens, if you out there. All right, so while we get ready
Inspire King.
Yeah, while we get ready to wrap it up, this one of the last segments of the show is flowers while they can still smell them. So this part of the show is where I tell the guests how special they are to me, right?
All right.
So I just want to let you know, just by coming into the brand, as I've been in every aspect of the brand, from just seeing you on YouTube to interning to being on the phones to you developing me. I just want to truly tell you I thank you for everything. I have a lot of mentors. I'm a people's person, so I don't know. I think that's a gift of mine. People naturally like me, so a lot of people gravitate towards me. But you and our relationship is different. It's like, it's almost like a brother type. I kind of look at myself as Kanye and you Jay-Z, or you Jay-Z and I'm J. Cole. Even like Kanye and Jay-Z, you see they bump heads sometimes. We don't do that anymore. But I think that was very pivotal for us to do. For me personally, I think that showed, and I handled that whole situation wrong. I would definitely say that. I went and spoke to somebody else before I even came to you. But I learned that that ain't how you handle business. You know what I mean? That's not how you handle relationships. And ever since then, I'll never do that again. It made me I feel like I'm stand up, but I'm a loyal person to the T. But that, I had a slip up.
Right.
I had a slip up.
Right.
And ever since then, I definitely, I know that's not the way to go through things. And from there, I think we've been tight as ever.
Yeah.
You're definitely a motivator in my life. And I just wanted to give you the flowers while you can still smell them like your shirt. As you got it.
King smell good too. I appreciate that. I think from that situation, I grew up too. Because a lot of times in relationships, especially with men, when we have a falling out, or you feel like somebody wronged you or crossed the line or it's about the rules, you just cut them off. Especially me, I'm quick to cut somebody off and not even. And so that was the approach I was going to take, but I did feel like there was a brotherhood between us, and I had to even swallow my pride in a sense to say, all right, this is my little brother right here. I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He might have slipped up, so let me extend some courtesy and some mentorship and just some whatever you want to call that, compassion or just really just knowing that I slip up too. Yeah. And so so it allowed me to grow in how I deal with people. And like you said, if we both had just broke ways, there's a whole last year and a half of our life that we wouldn't have to experience the things that we've experienced, going on tour together and building the company, et cetera. So and even the personal things we experienced, like you being a part of, seeing my engagement and other things. So I appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. All love.
I'm smelling the flowers.
Thank you for being my first guest. So I'm going to get into the final segment, as it's called Final Split, where I give my last final thoughts. And my final thoughts is what I took most out of this interview is really find yourself a mentor. I don't care if it's a book. I don't care if it's a YouTube clip, somebody, an influencer that you follow. I know having mentors in my life definitely changed my life and helped me elevate and take it to the next level. And not only having a mentor, but bring value to the mentor that you do have. You know, that's why I'm constantly studying. I think I overstudy sometimes. I have too much information. So for myself, you know, when you reach out to someone, give value first, and I guarantee you the universe is gonna bring value back to you. All right, so King J, before I let you go, thank you once again for being on Split Your Wig. Let the followers know where they can find you at.
All right, guys. Well, I am extremely busy on multiple channels, but you guys can always find me at jmorrison.net. You also can go to our school's website, jmorrisonacademy.com. If you're interested in investing in real estate assets for as little as $500 or submitting deals for acquisition for real estate, go to tulsarealestatefund.com. And I'm also a spokesman for the 1,000 Men March, which is a community initiative to take back and restore our communities. And that's at 1000menmarch.com. Yeah. Oh, and then you already know, Instagram, find me on IG. At Mr. J Morrison, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, all Mr. J Morrison.